Order, and Reverend Charles, if you do the invocation for me, please.
Most certainly. Let us bow for a moment of prayer. Heavenly Father, we come now, Lord God, with hearts filled with thanksgiving. God, we invoke your presence in these proceedings, Lord God, that you would lead and guide us into all truth. Place us on one accord, Lord God, that we might be like-minded, Lord, and everything that we do would be to your will. These blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody's received the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve as presented?
Motion to approve.
Okay, Jim got it, and Bob got the second. How about that? District 1.
District 1 votes yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3? Oh, sorry, not here. District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Surely.
Okay, you're Shirley now? Shirley? And I vote yes. You want to approve the minutes that you received for March 14th?
Motion to approve.
Motion from Jim,
Second.
second from Charles. Discussion? District 1?
District 1 votes yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Certainly.
Okay, and I vote yes. Next council meeting, May 9th. Central Middle, Councilman Odell.
Yes, Central Middle met on March 24th. The highlight was a presentation on disaster response and resilience by Jim Prosser, who is currently the director of Charlotte Council of Governments. But in June 2008, during the catastrophic flooding in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, he was the Cedar Rapids city manager. If you'll recall, the flooding impacted over 5,000 residential properties, the city's central business district, and all of the city's core service buildings. The city's response and coordinated recovery efforts are nationally recognized and offer a valuable lesson for the Midlands as we continue to work towards rebuilding and creating a more resilient community. What caught my attention was that a shared community vision or a community strategic plan is what provided the framework to guide the recovery plans, a strategic plan that had just recently been completed. We've been talking about a strategic plan for a few months now, and I think it's a great opportunity for our town. Could it guide us in the disaster recovery plan? I would hope that we would never have to find out, but I think it would assist us as we continue to grow, and I encourage Manager Luckadoo and Council to continue to explore those possibilities. Thank you.
Okay, Front Water.
Joint water. Had a fairly brief meeting. Made a transfer of funds from one part of the budget to another. Did care of personnel action, and received that date from the administrator.
Great, okay.
Skipped the other one.
You skipped the other one? Okay.
You skipped one.
Well, excuse me, we'll back up. EPAC then, I did, didn't I?
And I'm
Turn the page and I skipped
going
it.
to have to refer to Mr. Luckadoo. The first meeting they've had in more than a year, and I had a medical procedure scheduled that day, so he sat in for me.
Okay.
All right, VC3 has put in an application to expand their wastewater treatment facility. The committee met and discussed this expansion. No one saw any negative impacts downstream for expanding the wastewater treatment plant, which doesn't affect the town. This will be the Saluda and the river over on the other side of town. And they made a recommendation to the Central Midlands Council of Government Boards to approve that expansion.
Okay.
At what cost?
We didn't have the cost of the expansion.
Mr. Charles, you got anything on economic development?
Yes, we did meet. No new business, but pretty much discussion of previous business. County Councilman Brigham did inform us that the county delegation will meet here in Batesburg-Leesville in September and encourage all who can to attend. And that pretty much it.
All right, thank you. Chief Oswald.
wanted to introduce, we have a new young officer that finished the academy a couple weeks ago, and when they finished the academy, we'd like to bring him and introduce this as Watson.
Senior moment.
Jacob Watson. See, we call each other all the time by the last name, not first name. Jacob Watson. And not that we don't care for any of our officers that come with us, but we like about young Watson here is he's locally graduate of B&L. And so we've hired him, like I said, he's finished academy now, and we put him to work.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Jacob, congratulations.
Thank you,
Jacob,
sir.
that's his name, Jacob.
You may be seated, check with you.
Watson. Go back to work, Watson.
Thank y'all again.
Say it, be careful.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Watson, hang on a minute, because I want you to stick around for just 1 minute, if you will, please.
Yes, ma'am.
I really would like to ask council to come forward with me, and Chief Oswald.
You just had a senior moment, we gotta.
Yeah, I had
Keep the
seen
generations.
out of my office first name.
Chief Oswald, could you wheel your wheelchair up?
You can bring out PR24 and meet him anytime you want.
He's just jealous, he won't be able to get around when he's my age.
I've been doing this since March of 1992, and you started when?
76.
That's right out of high school, I know. Chief and I have enjoyed many hours working together. I know he and Wiz had many good hours.
We still do.
Still do, but it's a seldom to have such an honor and privilege to have somebody of your caliber and your character that wants to stay with somewhere like Batesburg-Leesville for as long as you have. Most people are looking at upward mobility and moving on to bigger and better things. But from the bottom of my heart, we love you and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
You're my hero, Chief Oswald.
Well, I just want to say how much I appreciate, I remember, I told the story before, but I remember when I started working here in the HR person, Miss Sarah Cullum, she was giving me the briefing, and she said that at police retirement was 25 years, and I remember thinking, who in the world works somewhere 25 years? And here I am 40 years later, still here.
Yeah, but use the word work.
Yeah. But you know, like Rita said, a lot of times it is a temptation to go somewhere else, especially when you get more training and all, like when I went to the FBI Academy and all, but I always stayed rooted in the fact that this was home. Of course, I grew up here, like some of you, went to B&L High School, the old B&L High School that the district office let fall in. I'll give that. But went to the high school there, then this was home. And I just felt like as long as I felt like I was contributing something to my community, because it's my community also, that I needed to stay on, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support and everything from everyone, and I have seen a lot of mayors and council come and go. But I tell the most interesting though was when we consolidated, and we were meeting with 2 mayors and 2 councils, and they appointed me as chief and told me just to put it together. And there for a while, I was working for 2 mayors and 2 councils.
I know, that was interesting.
I'll use the word interesting. So anyway, thank you, appreciate it. Like all of you.
We thank you.
Appreciate it, thank you.
I just wanted you to know the kind of man you're working for, if you didn't already know that.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
He's not the real
Thank you
SOB
for
he
being-
thinks he is.
Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you.
I've been on show in town as long as I can remember.
That's because you're not old enough.
You the chief longer than Watson.
Yeah, you're right.
Sir? Get out of here. Come on.
That one I should have a picture of. You got that one.
Yeah, pretty box, that's just a sleeve. Okay. There is no public comment on the agenda. We have no unfinished business. Now we have a resolution, if I can find it, to, let me go through my papers, hang on. For industry appreciation. I have multiple papers. That's some from last month. Kind of got it here, so that's why I'm having to shuffle around. Let's see. Some of these are lengthy. I'm going to read the shorter ones. And we'll just do a synopsis on some of the lengthy ones. This is whereas the town of Batesburg-Leesville is pleased to have a thriving community of industries to support the local economy. And whereas these industrial companies provide essential employment opportunities for the citizens of Batesburg-Leesville and the surrounding community. And these industrial companies provide local revenue for which the entire citizenry benefit. And whereas industrial businesses make considerable contributions to our families and community, often improving the overall quality of life. And whereas we recognize and appreciate these industrial businesses, whereas we wish to show appreciation for our existing industry and at the same time welcome any and all potential new industry into our community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Council of Batesburg-Leesville does hereby declare the week of May 15th through 21st, 2016 as Industry Appreciation Week in the town of Batesburg-Leesville. Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution?
I so move.
Second.
Motion from Rachel, second from Charles. Discussion. District 1.
District 1 votes yes.
District 2.
Yes.
District 4.
District 4 votes yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
District 8. And I vote yes. Thank you. Straight here. Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Kathy already missed it.
What?
Charmin, she's.
Yeah, we can reenact.
Yeah, we're good.
Mickey, I'm gonna pass this one down to you to
Uh-oh.
read. Give them what you did for all that. It just might mean a little bit more. That's short.
Whereas every child is entitled to grow up in a safe, loving, and stable family, protected from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse, exploitation, and neglect. And whereas child abuse continues to be one of our nation's and state's most serious public health problems, with the combined direct and indirect costs of child maltreatment in the millions. And whereas all citizens play a vital role in preventing child abuse and neglect by promoting healthy, nurturing relationships between children and adults. And whereas preventing child abuse and neglect is a community issue that depends on involvement among people throughout the community. And whereas programs that are effective and research proven in the prevention of child abuse succeed because of partnerships formed between families, social service agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, child welfare advocacy organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And whereas it is entirely inappropriate for the Town Council of Batesburg-Leesville to add its collective voice in support of these worthy partnerships and programs. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of Batesburg-Leesville affirms its dedication to the future success of South Carolina's young people and to the prevention of child abuse and neglect, and declares the month of April 2016 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the town of Batesburg-Leesville.
Do I hear a motion to approve as read?
So moved.
Motion from Charles, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Danny. Discussion? District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3, District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Absolutely yes.
and District 8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Resolution for Poultry Festival Day. I believe that's what I gave Reverend Sinkins.
State of South Carolina, County of Lexington, Town of Batesburg-Leesville Resolution. Whereas the South Carolina Poultry Festival will be sponsored by the Leesville Merchants Association, and whereas the 2016 South Carolina Poetry Festival will be celebrating 30 years of existence in the town of Batesburg-Leesville, and whereas with the dedication of the people of this community, the South Carolina Poetry Festival has been and continues to be one of the most popular and successful festivals in this state. And whereas the South Carolina Poetry Festival provides a day for the entire family to enjoy the many activities and events scheduled, and whereas the South Carolina Poetry Festival honors the poetry industry, which is vital to the community, the economy, health and well-being of the community, our state, and our nation. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Batesburg-Leesville proclaims Saturday, May 14, 2016, as the South Carolina Poetry Festival Day, and we extend an invitation to everyone to join in the celebration of this event, dated this 11th day of April 2016.
Do I hear a motion to approve the
Also
resolution?
move it.
Motion by Bob, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Todd. Discussion. District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
let's sleep, and I vote yes, thank you. You want to read that one?
Yep.
All right.
Whereas the Leesville Merchants Association is sponsoring the 30th Annual South Carolina Poultry Festival on Friday, May 13th of 2016, and Saturday, May 14th of 2016. And whereas the town of Batesburg-Leesville, Town Council of Batesburg-Leesville has determined it is the best interest of vendors participating in the South Carolina Poultry Festival to prohibit yard sales in certain areas within the Batesburg-Leesville town limits. And whereas no yard sales shall be permitted within the area of the poultry festival as shown on the attached map. And therefore, be it further resolved that this resolution shall be in effect for the poultry festival weekend on Friday, May 13th, and Saturday, May 14th, 2016.
Do I hear a motion to adopt the resolution?
Also moved.
Bob, second?
Second.
Second from Todd. Any discussion?
Yes.
One question.
Go ahead.
I did not get the map. Is it the same as last year?
It's right here on the resolution. It was part of the email.
It did come through.
It was attached.
It's a separate attachment.
It's a separate attachment, the
Right.
agenda items.
Oh,
Same as it was last
Same.
year, if you want to see the map here. Chip, was that you?
Yes, it was me. I'm just not sure I understand the thrust behind not allowing everybody in that area to not be able to have a yard sale if they want to take advantage of the people that are going to be in town and make a buck. I just don't think it's fair, and I don't agree with this resolution. I went along with it for 4 years when I was on council previously, mostly because I just kind of went along with the crowd, but I just have a fundamental issue with not allowing folks that happen to live in that little bit of area that they can't do what everybody else in town can do.
Okay. Anyone else? District 1?
Glad you have a comment. I think this was brought up, there was discussion last year as well about this. And I think the determination was more so from the vendors for whatever reason feeling competition from those that were paying a larger fee to sell their wares versus those that were getting a yard sale permit and selling their wares.
Well, in that case, Mi Rancho and San Jose are allowed to stay open on Saturday. We certainly can't stop them from selling. And the food vendors have to put up with that competition. So either we protect everybody or we protect nobody. I don't think it's fair. I just don't think it's equitable. And I don't think people going to the craft fair are going to be the same people going to a yard sale. As a matter of fact, some of the people at the craft fair, the vendors, may want to go to a yard sale so they can pick up some stuff to have for the craft fair next time. That's just my opinion.
Well, between now and this time next year, we'll have a discussion with the steering committee and possibly have them come answer some questions about their request for this. How about that? And get it.
I do have a question before we finish out the discussion. My understanding is that the vendors do pay a fee to be there along Main Street. Is that my understanding? So if you happen to own a home along Main Street, and you happen to partner up with a business, you could actually have a yard sale in your yard right across the street for people who have paid good money to be there as a vendor all day long. And I think that's the thought behind it.
Who do they pay that money to? The town?
Poultry Festival.
Poultry Festival. Okay.
District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
No.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Hell, yes.
excuse me. And I vote yes. The resolution that's adding capital equipment to the fiscal year 15-16 5-year lease purchase. I am not reading all of this resolution. You want to quickly go through the nuts and bolts of what you're adding and why?
Yep, so on November 19, 2015, in this budget year, council approved a 5-year lease purchase to purchase police vehicles and a skid steer for the town. Staff worked with all the vendors selling the equipment. We were able to save a significant amount of money negotiating the cost of these items. We saved $31,600. That's what we have remaining, having purchased everything on that lease purchase. Now, there's two options moving forward, and talking with BB&T. Option one is we can buy no additional equipment, and the $31,600 can be taken off the final payment 5 years from now. Or option two, y'all can amend the resolution and we can purchase some additional equipment that's needed for the town. So we requested that all the department heads give us a list of items, as well as we've been working on the budget. So we've got budgeted items that were submitted to possibly be included on next year's budget. So we just felt like we could use the $31,600, go ahead and take care of some equipment needs that we may have in next year's budget to reprieve ourselves from that when that budget comes around. So
Basically, what he's done is add to the resolution from last year the purchases for this year. That include the landscape trailer, the tasers, the automatic defibrillators, the industrial cooling fans, fire hose, repeater and antenna, smoke fan, computer mounts for the police cars, and that'd be it.
correct.
Tasers, additional tasers, yes.
Yeah. If you're
So
looking,
without reading all of that, everything, the interest will remain the same, the amount of the release purchase will be the same. So we just had to add those items.
What about the debt service?
everything's still the same. We borrowed $305,000, and our payment is already based on $305,000. We can't change it and reduce the payment at this point. So our two options are finish spending that $31,600 or take it off the final payment 5 years from now.
Same thing as it was last year, 1.98% for 5 years.
Yeah.
That doesn't change at all.
So Ted, you said that you sit down with the department heads and say, look, well, I got some extra money. Do you all want to spend it?
What we said is we have one of two options. We can either take it off the final payment or go ahead and take care of some additional needs that they have with regards to equipment. And so we asked them to submit those items that, well, they had already submitted quite a number of things in budgeting, some equipment needs that they would have this year. So we pulled from that. They thought of any additional equipment needs. Their needs were far exceeded to $31,600, but we as a staff looked at everything and tried to spread that money throughout each department and what their needs were going to be, and equipment needs that they had, and spread it out.
So those items would not be covered in the upcoming budget?
This would go ahead and take care of those, so they would not have to be included in the upcoming budget.
Madam Mayor, do we need a motion to
Yeah.
discuss this issue?
Well, yeah, it's a resolution, but let's go ahead and make a motion to adopt the resolution.
I so move.
Got a motion from Chip, second from Todd, was it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion?
I have a question.
Sure.
It's regarding finance. Are you saying that if we don't spend this, essentially they're gonna take 31,000 whatever off the end of it?
Last payment.
Correct, the last
So,
payment.
in other words, we'd be paying interest on that 31,500 until the very end anyway.
Correct.
It's not like if I buy a car, I go in and make a principal payment, and it cuts me back more than
Right.
I pay.
And it is a 5-year,
It's a 5-year lease purchase.
so that money basically would just sit there.
It'd be in lingo until the 5th year, it would be deducted off of that final payment.
And I had 2 questions. Number one, that all the departments were given the opportunity to submit their needs that would be within this amount of funds that requested,
Right.
and that all the items on here would be items that were requested in our new upcoming budget.
Right.
So we're paying for the use of the money. Why not use it is basically what we're doing. Is that what I'm understanding?
I mean, the way we viewed it is we'll never stop having needs. And needs change year to year. Needs come up mid-year that we have to get ready for the next year. A lot of these things that's like the fire department just hose tested their hose, and they had a number of 5-inch hoses fail hose testing. And that really wasn't an issue until about 2 weeks ago. We just had no idea, but in testing the hose, had a number of sections fail. So we put for 5 sections, which is 500 feet of 5-inch hose, into this as well. And some of their hose money in the current budget, they're going to. Our goal was to outfit 12 sections of hose, which is an entire truckload of 5-inch hose, and then we've already got a plan for next year's budget to get the remaining amount to finish a full hose bid of 5-inch. So this would assist in making it doable.
Anything else? District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes?
District 6.
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. And we've got first reading on the ordinance to amend the Time Warner Cable franchise fee agreement from 3% to 5%. Briefly?
Okay. Currently, the town of Batesburg-Leesville imposes franchise fees through the South Carolina Competitive Cable Service Act, enacted by law in the state of South Carolina. We currently assess a 3% franchise fee on all cable providers. In our situation, Time Warner Cable is the only cable provider in the town. And so, in 2012, when Time Warner Cable went through a big merger, in doing the merger, it would automatically default to 3% unless the municipality reported the particular percentage that they wanted to impose. We did not respond, so therefore we defaulted to a 3%. We've looked around, and most everybody in the state, not all, but most everybody in the state is at 5%. I spoke with Time Warner Cable, Ben Brazil, the government relations director. He stated that he would prefer us be at 5% because it's just so difficult to specifically have to deal with the 3%ers. And so he said from their end, they don't have a problem with it. It's not an issue. And with regards to any impact, our question was, what impact could this have on a homeowner's bill? The response, they use a formula that is used across the board, statewide. They don't impose a specific 3% on the people inside the town limits of Batesburg-Leesville, or a specific 5% on the people in Columbia. It is a statewide formula that's used on everyone, and then they remit the percentage that we've imposed through ordinance back to the town. So exactly what percentage homeowners are paying, he couldn't tell me, and we tried to get in contact with the department that actually does this, and we could not find who that was, but it is a statewide.
We're at 5% in SC&G, right?
Yeah.
SC&G franchise is 5%.
And SCNG's
I
fine.
think on the Time Warner bill, it simply says franchise.
Oh, yeah.
SCENG specifically says 5%,
Right.
but I don't think theirs enumerates anything.
So is it conceivable with our customers have been charged 5%, but the town's getting back 3%?
I'm not gonna say it's not
Is
possible.
that legal?
I don't know, but I don't know
Well,
what.
certainly because it
We
was down
used
the
a number of bills and tried, because it's on television only. It's not on the internet. It's not on home phone, it's television only. So we collected a number of bills and tried to calculate to come up with the number that they had, and we just could not do it. And that's the point we picked up the phone, so we didn't know if it included boxes, didn't include boxes, and we tried it every which way and could not come up with their number. And that's when they said it's based on a formula that's standard statewide. So it's possible.
We got a motion from Jim to approve,
I'll second.
second from Bob, discussion.
Does the town do, we don't take payments anymore, is that correct? We do still take?
We do. We don't collect boxes anymore. That, they stopped that. They went to the model of sending a box to you. You put it in a box and send it UPS or FedEx, whichever one. So we don't use that service anymore, but we do collect payments.
So Ted, what you're saying is that we're going to impose an additional fee on the citizens of Batesburg-Leesville for no apparent reason.
No,
No,
no.
no, sir.
But if they cannot explain why they want the 5%, what's the reason? If the Time Warner could not explain to you why we want you all to go to 5%, why it's necessary, then why are we going to 5%? Because it's more convenient for their actuary department, accounting department? Do they not use computers over their Time Warner?
I can't speak for what Time Warner does and does not use.
You know, just about every month, my cable bill gets higher and higher. So I called Time Warner and they says, well, the customer service rep said, sir, I'm not sure why your bill went up. I said, well, let me speak to somebody who knows. And nobody can ever come to the phone and explain to me why my bill goes up every other month. And I am totally frustrated with those folks.
But as I understand it, Charles, it's very likely that Time Warner customers have been being charged at this 5% rate. The town's only getting back 3%. So
we're
by
not
us,
adding to the bill.
Because
exactly.
I can promise you, if we approve that 5%, our bills are going higher. I promise you.
Mine's never the same from one month to the next.
I mean, I have to agree with that.
Not either.
And then you call them and you say what's going on and
You know, this is, and I think too, this is a franchise fee that we're imposing on Time Warner Cable as an organization. And again, their formula is standard statewide, so what they're doing is they're collecting all the money in from the standardized formula and then remitting it out based on the franchise fees that each municipality is imposing. The formula is not going to change simply because we go from 3% to 5%. It's a standard formula.
But if we do not elect to collect 5% from Time Warner, we will default to the 3% automatically.
Well, we're already at the 3%.
But by
defaulted
default,
to that.
because we're not requesting the 5%.
Right. In 2012, we defaulted, when we could have said we want to be at 5%, we could have been collecting.
Can I call for the question?
Okay.
I had one more thing.
No, he's already called for the question. Sorry. District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes no.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8.
Yes.
I have a yes. Manager's report.
All right, we got three things. Wanted to, I know we passed on information related to the industrial park, just wanted to have an opportunity to talk about it tonight. I know some people may be curious because it's been a while, but the property has dried out, so the overall site conditions at the industrial park have improved. Work is well underway. They're making significant progress at this point inside the park. The on-site wastewater, phase 1 should be done within the next week, which is a really big deal. That was a 28-foot hole, a complete movement of land out there. They have, went out there the other day, they have pretty much covered most of that section of line up. We will never see that portion of line ever again. So it was 28 feet deep, and they are also finishing up a sanitary wet well that's on site and connected to phase 1. That should be completed April 21st. The roadway activities in clearing the land and getting those graded is about 85% done, and that's for all roadways inside the park. The electrical contractor, subcontractor who's going to be installing all of the underground electrical utilities, they mobilized in, I believe, today. The waterline construction crews, they've pretty much been on a break for quite a while inside the park. They mobilized back in today as well, so they will begin all the waterline activities for phase 2 and 3. Everything with regards to the Highway 1 entrance, everything is progressing smoothly on the permitting and engineering side. Land clearing and earthwork activities should begin in the next month or so, going out to Highway 1, clearing out the trees and buildings that'll be for that. A quick budget update. We are full steam ahead. However, at this time we do have some further information that we are waiting on to get a full understanding of where we stand with the budget, so that we can finalize some sections of that. At this point, we're on the same track as of right now that we were on for last year. Last year, April 21st, we held our first work session, so we are still on track at this point, just waiting for that additional information to come in so we can come to you guys for a work session. Some of the things that we're still waiting on is trying to see if we can get a little further clarification on the local government fund, what it's going to do this year. We realize that we probably will not get full funding once again, but maybe they'll increase it up a little bit, and hopefully that all indications are it won't decrease from what it was last year. It should at least remain the same. Our medical insurance renewal rates, met with the insurance today, waiting on some additional numbers to come back on that by the end of the week. We're waiting on the population numbers in case it's council pleasure to do any type of millage adjustment. We don't even know what we would have the ability to do at this point. So we're waiting on those population numbers. And then the big one is the municipal association's collected insurance tax numbers. That one's very impactful on the budget in the June timeframe. We will be working to set up a work session in the next couple weeks once we have all of that information and can plug it in. And the last thing is we sent a code red out today. Most of you should have received that. As far as in the crowd, it was mostly sent to the people on the Batesburg side of town because that's where we're going to be this week. The water department utility staff will be flushing fire hydrants this week on the Batesburg side of town from Mitchell Street west. This is a requirement of DHEC for us to do on an annual basis, just to keep our water mains flushed out, to get rid of the sedimentation that's in those water lines. And it's to help ensure that our customers have a safe and healthy supply of drinking water. Customers may experience a temporary discoloration of their water and could possibly have low water pressures while the flushing's going on. Just be aware of that. The different range of colors can be from a light yellow to an orangish red color. If this occurs, customers should run a medium stream of cold water until the water clears. If you experience discoloration, do not run hot water or wash clothes until the water does clear up. That's important. Don't want to stain your clothes. Main flushing is required for us to ensure that water quality. And if you have any questions or if you experience discolored water and it doesn't get better, you need to contact the water plant. That number is 532-6410. But again, just run your water for a little bit, run your taps just to try and flush your lines out if there's a problem.
Said if you experience that problem and it doesn't get better, in what period of time?
Tim,
immediately?
Just several minutes.
Just
Several minutes, Charles, and
Okay.
if it doesn't get better, then you've got some bigger problem. It's probably affecting more than just you. So we need to get out there and kind of flush that specific area.
Yeah.
Will you, if you live in the area, will you be affected just one day? Or Is it gonna be multiple days for that whole side of town?
What we hope to do is we're gonna kind of start in a central location and kind of pull that water with us as we go out of town. Then we get to that end hydrant that we test last, maybe let it flush longer than the rest of them, just to kind of pull that water with us, that slug of water that we move. I don't really know. You know, the lines are all connected, interconnected, so we could be just moving that water around in a circle. I hope not, but if you have anything that lasts over 5 minutes or so, just give us a call and we'll just get out there and have to flush some more.
And how many days are you planning to do this?
Well,
That it's gonna take?
unfortunately, I didn't get to flush any today because of 2 emergencies, so best laid plans, hopefully tomorrow, and calling for rain, so we may miss another day. But probably going to at least do 2 days this week, and if we extend it, you know, next week, we'll just go ahead and send out the code red kids.
Thank you. Where's the attorney?
Texted Chris, let him know he didn't show up.
I got a text from her. He's on his way.
He wasn't supposed to be here.
No, Nick's supposed to be here.
for him.
But our other.
Doesn't matter. We need to have an executive session, please, discussion, negotiations,
He's there, he is right there.
to discuss contractual arrangements with the town of Ridge Spring concerning the operator of record water treatment operations. Now, I hear a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to convene an executive session to
Motion from
discuss.
Charles, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Chip. We got a vote, right? District 1,
District 4 votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8? No, okay, and I vote yes, so we're going into executive session. Can we stay for a couple of minutes? Do I hear a motion to come back into section, read of the regular council meeting?
I so moved.
Motion from Rachel, second from Charles. District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
5,
Yes.
6,
Yes.
7,
Yes.
8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Is there a motion to follow the executive session?
I make a motion that we empower our town manager and public works director to enter into negotiation, and our town attorney, to enter into negotiation with Ridge Spring Vanetta over a operator
Operator
record
record.
contract.
I'll second.
Second from Bob. Discussion? District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
2,
Yes.
4,
District 4 votes yes.
5,
Yes.
6,
Yes.
7,
Yes.
8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Any potential agenda items for the May 9th meeting? Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Motion by Jim, we are done.
All right, we gotta take a picture again?
Yep.